In continuation to our previous example on web services, let's follow this website which talks about getting started with JAX WS web services, and we'll see this example, implement this example as it is in this site. In this site, what they are doing is this. They are deploying a web service, then they are creating a client using Java application, then they are having a servlet, then they have a JSP page. So there are three types of clients for one single web service. So let's implement the service. To implement a service, as I have told you earlier, we need a web container or an EJB. So we are creating a new project. In here, we are using the web, which is the web application. Click next, and we use the names as they appear in this website here. Okay, let's give the name. It's a calculator application. So it's a calculator. Then you can just the same steps as before, and you can finish it off. Now the application is ready, which is calculator WS application. It is not a web service yet. So right click, click new, go to web service. Under web service, we will use this name calculator WS, which is the name of this web service. And then we will say the package name is org.me.calculator. You can give any name. As we are following this, we are just using it as it is. And remember, we are creating a web service from scratch here. Then click finish. Now the web service is ready, but we want to add some services to it. How do you add? We can click on the design menu, or you can add operations here. So you can actually do it programmatically, or you can do it using design. Or you can go to the actual package, go to source, web, which one you give you org.me calculator. Check this and then right click, and you will have options here. Okay, there should be an add option, but I don't see it here. So what we will do is this, using info bean editor. So if you want to use info bean editor, when you have generated the project, you should have selected the session bean. We didn't, but that doesn't matter. So we can use the design operation here. Okay, using design, we are going to add an operation. So operation we are going to add is called add operation, meaning operation means a method. So we are creating a method called add, and the return type is an integer. And the parameters you are passing, there are two parameters. First one is I, which is an int integer. Second one we call it as j, which is also an integer. It's a drop down, so we choose. So now we have created a method called add. Okay, let's make it as add, not operation add. And we have two parameters, I and j, and what it returns is I. It returns is an integer. Now give OK. So you can see it has added the things here. Then what we want to do is we want to remove the existing hello. Okay, we don't want this. So to remove on it, you can see it will show you a few options here. So remove the operation, right click and remove. So it will say, do you want to remove? Yes. So that is done. So in our, if you go back to the source, you will see this is our calculator WS. It has one method called add, which is a web method. Parameters are I and j. So this is our code as it appears there. So you can see if you have chosen what is called stateless bean, then you will see it will have an entry called stateless. In our case, we did not choose a stateless, so we don't see the stateless here. We only see the web service. Let's continue on following the same steps here. We will add a method. Okay, inside the method, we have added a method called add. We will add some elements inside the method. So this is what we want to do is this. We want the method to get parameters I and j, which is I, and you will see there is a j there. These are web parameters, and we read them, we add them I plus j, and we want to return the k as a result instead of return 0. Okay, we can save this. So this is an application. Okay, let's deploy it. Let's run it. You can run the service, it will run it for you. So now you can see I didn't start the Glassfish. So Glassfish is being started by the NetBeans itself. You will see NetBeans is going to start the necessary for me. So it is asking me for the admin and the username and the password, Glassfish. It's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 in my case, and it's going to run my application. So this is the output. So let's go down and check whether the service is running. 127 dot this. It should be under 8080. So it is running here. Let's go to administration control. Again, it says authentication failed. Okay, using my NetBeans, when I started the Glassfish server, it keeps asking me for authentication. It keeps failing for authentication. Also, when I go to the browser and I try to log in into 8080, the Glassfish is running. But when I go to the administration control and I give the username one ID, admin as the username, password as 1234567 8, which I have set earlier, you will see it gives me authentication failed. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to cancel this, close this server here. I will stop the server right now. Okay, stop. So I've stopped the server, and now what I will do, I'll go to the prompt. I'll go and see whether there is a service running. Okay, how do I check? Net state minus A and O. I will look for 4848. The server is running. Administration control is running here. And if I now open another prompt and I go into Glassfish bin folder, Glassfish bin folder, start the server, you will see I'm trying to start the server. It says there's already a process running, so it cannot start. So I need to stop this process. So I have to note what is the PID of it, process ID. You can see here it is PID here, it is 4860 for that number. So let's scroll down. I'm going to type task kill minus f slash f slash PID 4840. 48, sorry, it should be 4860, not 4840. So go again, change it 4860. So it has been terminated now. So if I go to the browser, refresh localhost 4848 presenter, you will see the page is not there. You see it cannot connect. So let's go and start our server now. I'm going to start the server from the command instead of starting it from the NetBeans. So let's see, it is starting now. Once it has started, I should be able to access 8080. It starts a lot of services there. So go to administration control now. Administration console now. It asks me for the username password. Let me type in my username and my password. Okay, now I'm able to see my page. So click on list deployed applications. If you want to see what are the applications that are deployed, go back to our calculator application. Right now, if we start our process, it was not going to start the Glassfish now. You will see I click here, right click on the project, click run. It says Glassfish is already running, so it will deploy automatically. And it is starting the service. As before, like the previous one, I get the same page. I can refresh it if I want to refresh this page here. Okay, reload. Right click and reload. So let's continue. We have written the service now. Now we need to write the client side. Okay, so we can test the service also by doing this, as they are mentioned here. We can go to web services. There is the service here. Right click, test web service. So it will open the necessary. So previous time it did open just the application. Now it is opening the actual method, actual class with the tester, as I've told you earlier. So let's pass 1 and 2 and click add. The result should be 1 plus 2, which is 3. So you can see it returns me 3. So you can test with any numbers if you want to. Let's say we put -1 and 2. Click add. You get 1. So these are the ways to do it. So we can test it. Now what I'm going to do next is basically to write the application for it. So the client for it. Okay. Let's create a client now. There are few ways of doing a client. So we'll do the first way, which is basically to create a Java application. New project, and we select Java. We select a Java application. Go next. Let's give this name. This is what they are mentioned here. And then click finish. This will generate the client for us. So you can see there is a client here. Still it is not a web service right now. So you can right click, you can give new, you can say web service client. Then we need to provide the WSDL. So go here. We are providing the WSDL for the calculator. So just select it, and you can see it says here, and select and browse and click finish. So it creates the references. The important thing, it creates a reference for us. Now you can see this is my application. This is my client program. Let's open the client program. Now I want to open it here. So if I click bottom and click here, it will open here along with the output. If you click here and double click here, it will open in the top. All right, this is just part of NetBeans anyway. So scroll down to web services, click on it, go to the calculator WS, go to the port, then add. Click the add and then drag and drop. So it will add the respective methods there. So it has added. So this is how it looks like right now. Now we need to change our main method. We need to pass some parameters here. So we will make it like I equal to 3, j equal to 4, and we are calling the method the add method. And when we get the result, we just want to display it. Okay. So you can save this. And if you want to put them in a try cache, you can put them in a try cache also. You can give some exceptions. So that's done now. So now we are going to run the program. Select the application, click run the project. I did click the debug. Really, we don't need debug, so let me stop the debug. Click on this and then start running it. So it's running the application. You can see result is 7 because we pass I equal to 3, j equal to 4. So it is 1, 3 plus 4, you get 7. So this is how you can do an application like. So that's the first step of doing a client side. Next, let us do another client side. This one we will use servlets. Okay, again create a new one, and here we will select Java Web, and then we will choose the Java Web application, and then we go next. Then we give the name like this. You can give any name, but we just follow it. So choose them, then go next, then you finish this off. Okay, so it's created the respective WS servlet client, calculator WS servlet. Go to new web service client. Again, we have to choose the WSDL file. Okay, this is your WSDL file. Go and choose, click. Alright, you have selected them, and then you can finish. So it has created the necessary web services now. So you will find something like this in our case. Okay, under web pages you find all this. Okay, and it has also generated the necessary. Now click on this guy, right click, new, choose servlet. Okay, so when you choose a servlet, we will call it as client servlet, and then we will use the package name as this. So this is the package name. So click next. So you can see this is the servlet. You can finish. So now we have a servlet program running in here. Okay, so it's all okay. There's no error per se. When there's a servlet, you will see there's a method called process request. This is the method which is going to process. So when you are in this, you have to drag and drop again like before. Go to the web service, go to the port, the WS port, drag the add, and then drop it here. So it has added the method for us. Okay, and then let's go to the process request. This is what will actually generate the output as an HTML file. Go here, maybe after that we can add this line. So that line is already there, so we don't need to add. I'm sorry, we need to just add these lines here. So these are the lines I'm going to add. I'm going to pass I equal to 3, j equal to 4. You get the result, and you write it as out.println. It will print in the text. Okay, so if you want to use, there is no finally here, you can close the connections. So we can just put finally, and you can close the stream. Just to make sure this is the try. Yeah, finally you have the close. There's a problem with the out because out is inside the try. So what we do is take this line, make it outside. So the out is common now. Now we just put the try here. Okay, out is accessible even in the finally. Otherwise, out is accessible only in the try part, not in the finally part. And if you want to add some more try cache, you can also add them. Like for this code here, we can add a try cache. Okay, let's put it here. Let's drag and drop it inside just to show you it is there. And that's it. Now if you click on the application and then you click on run. Okay, so you can see it gives you like this. Okay, it doesn't really generate the output we expected. It has opened the web service actually. Why? Okay, the reason is this. If you right click on this, go to properties. If you go to the run, here we need to say we want to run this application. Okay, we have to specify it. I think it is mentioned somewhere which we didn't do. So if you do it, click OK to it, save it, then again run the project. Now it says the client is not there. Basically it says there's an error 404, because the basic thing we need to do is this. Let me do it here and I will show you. Okay, so this is what you have to do is, if you go to that relative URL, right click, go to properties, go to run this relative URL. Here I need to specify my class name, which is client servlet. Okay, and then you have to say okay to it, because I want to run my Java program, which is actually the class program generator, class file generated. If I run now, click run and then run here, you will see it will generate, and you can see it says these lines come from here. Servlet, client servlet requested at this is the path, and this is the value, result equal to 7. That's it. So this is a way of generating a servlet based client. So that's a second way. There's a third way, if you want to use a JSP based client. Let's try that also. Let's go here, new project. All right, this time what we do is also same thing, Java web with the web application. Next, give this name JSP client, and then you go next, and then you finish. So click on that JSP client, right click, new web service client, it's also a client, and choose the respective WSDL. Okay, then so once you have chosen this, and then you can finish. So you can see this one is you can refactor it, it's called index.html. you can or you can create a new file here, new JSP, call it as index.jsp. okay, so I can give a name for it. You can say the standard syntax file, give okay to it. Basically what it will do is it will generate index.jsp.jsp. okay, or you can just leave it like this. So this is the JSP file which is created. Now you can drag and drop your ad like what you used to do before. So it has added there. So let's make it new line. So this is a web service invocation. We added them here. And we can also add some exceptions. If you want to put some exception here, you can put the exceptions here. Right, you want to print the exception, and that's it. Go to the application now, right click and run, or right click and run. Where's my application? Okay, again it is running from just the basic index.html file. So let's run the JSP file. You will see hello world, it says result is equal to 0. Let's change these values. Let's put it as 10 and 11. Save it. Then you can refresh it. Now it becomes 10 plus 11, which is 21. Okay, so these are the steps to test an application. So let me summarize what we have done right now. We have created a web service, okay, which is called as calculator WS application, which is using JAX-WS. We have added some methods inside. You can add the method using design mode, where you can drop an add operation with some internal parameters you want to pass, arguments, and the resultant. Then in the method, you can add the operation itself, what you want to do inside and what you return. Then we have created clients. We have created 3 types of clients: a normal Java application client, where you create the application client, Java application client. Inside you add the web service client, then you drop the add method accordingly from the web service references. Second one, we have done it using servlets. We create a servlet, and inside the servlet we give the links. Third, we have created JSP. Okay, into the JSP we have added the links like. So this is the steps. So we have seen the whole steps here. The last step was using JSP. The one before was using servlet. Note in servlet, the job is done using a method called process request. And in the case of our normal application, Java application, it is from the main method. And I hope this explains how to do different types of clients for one single web service.